As the property industry struggles with questions over the impact of the COVID-19 virus, the part of the buying process most immediately at risk is viewings. And one of the commonly searched questions since the coronavirus outbreak amongst many is, how will the coronavirus affect house prices? Well, this morning we're joined by Andrew Walker, the CEO of SA Property Investors Network, to share with us, if at all, this has any harm to property prices. He joins us now via Skype. Andrew, very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Welcome.
Morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. Now, would you advise anyone to invest in property at the current state the country is and the world is faced with?
It's a very good question. Here's the thing. No one knows how bad this thing is going to get, right? One thing I do know, and one thing I do believe in, it's just my opinion, right, is that I believe we will control this virus. Properties will still be here forever, and property will still be a good bet in terms of investment. The question is, how long is this going to take place? For example, exactly what you said. What about viewings? What about inspections? What about people leaving the country, going back to their home countries? What about tenants getting retrenched? These are all the unknowns. And this is the time when South Africa must not panic. Property will be here forever. The question is, how long can you survive for? I believe we're going into survival mode right now. And it became a buyer's and seller market. It was a buyer's market already before this happened. Now this is happening, in my opinion. People will get scared. They will put their funds in the market. There will be a higher supply than the demand in the short term. That's my opinion.
Indeed, I mean, no doubt this is a very difficult time for everybody, and it's so difficult to tell how long this will last because the country has been thrown into an indefinite state, as it were. So how much effect has the coronavirus had on the property sector? Does it at all change the property prices?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it's going to definitely play a part in property prices dropping. Definitely. I've already spoken to quite a few of my property practitioners across the country. People don't want to do viewings, right? People that were going out looking to buy their first property or even second property, and I've spoken to some of these people. Their attitude is actually, we're going to hang on now for a few months, which means property in the market where there was a buyer, in a lot of cases the buyers won't be there anymore. And therefore, sellers will get desperate and they'll start dropping their property prices. So I definitely believe that there will be a drop in property prices. And if you think about going back a month ago, 2 months ago, people were talking about this being a buyer's market anyway. Properties going in the markets, and it was obviously time for us to invest as investors. But now it could even get worse.
Now, Andrew, if someone had recently invested in property, but because of the virus has had financial difficulties in paying it off, so what options do they have? Should they perhaps hold on to it for a little bit longer, or should they sell?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Anyone should try to hold on to the assets. Do not sell if you can help it. The banking institutions apparently are meeting next week to see what they can do. For example, I've got properties in the UK and I've got a letting agency. We've got 250 tenants. And what the UK are looking at doing is giving us payment holidays on our bonds or mortgages, where they'll say, hey, for 3 months, you don't have to pay your bond. We can then pass it on to the tenants and say, listen, we've got some relief from the banks, and therefore we'll give you relief on your rent. Now, we don't know what our banks are going to do. I really hope they do something similar. For example, what I'm going to be doing, and I urge other landlords to do, the interest rates dropped this week, as you know. I'm going to pass that saving on to our tenants. So I'm going to say to my tenant, look, there's been an interest rate cut based on what's happened here with the coronavirus. I will pass that cut on to you to try to help my tenants. And this is where the landlords need to work with our tenants to help them through the troubled time.
And just picking up on that point, Andrew, how would it work with those renting property? Are they also offered the same various financial strategies during such a time?
So here's the thing. It's too early to say. On Tuesday at 1 o'clock with the SA Property Investors Network, very important, we are going live to probably thousands of landlords around South Africa where Michelle Dickens from the Tenant Profile Network, Phil Stay from SSOR have put together a crisis management tool to help landlords and tenants through the troubled times. So we don't have that answer right now today, but at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, we will go live with the SA Property Investors Network, and we'll hopefully then have that answer.
I hope you'll certainly shed some light with regards to it. And just before I let you go, Andrew, you generally encourage people to build wealth through property investment. How then do you spot the perfect property to invest in?
Yeah, I mean, look, it comes down to doing your research. It comes down to making money when you buy. Do the numbers make financial sense? And so it's almost like, we go to the private market, we go to estate agents, we probably view 20, 30 properties. We put quite a few offers in, and that's how we get that perla of a property. But there are a few rules you have to follow. You don't just go buy any property. We've got to make sure cash flows. We've got to make sure we're buying with equity, making money when you buy. That's where the education comes in. And that's why the SA Property Investors Network exists, to show people how to buy property right, to show people what the risks are of property, and to help them build wealth through property. So even in these times, yes, they're scary times, but my property, the home I'm sitting in right now, will always be here.
Andrew Walker, we do appreciate your reflections and your insights on this matter. Much appreciated. We just spoke to the CEO of SA Property Investors Network, Andrew Walker. He just answered some of the questions many had on whether the coronavirus affects property prices.